Hey everybody, seeing who's gonna jump on real quick. Drinking my lemon water. How are you guys doing? How are you feeling? Awesome. Awesome. All right, we're going to be speaking all about mindfulness today. Let me make sure everybody's here. Amazing. All right, I'm glad you guys are here. If you guys, I'm going to go over whatever I can go over in terms of mindfulness. It's super broad. But I'm going to try to touch on some things that I think might. Go ahead and mute yourself, Lisa. Lisa, go ahead and mute yourself.
Yeah.
I got you. I got you. All right, you guys, let's talk about mindfulness. I'm going to give everybody one little more minute. Okay. I got my lemon water. As you guys know, or maybe you don't know, every Wednesday morning I do my little lemon water with woke words. It's just another way to connect with you guys. That's going to be on my IGTV or my Instagram. So always check that out. All right, mindfulness. So I know you guys had some questions, mostly in regards to emotions and mindfulness, how to stay mindful, right, when you're kind of having these negative emotions. So what I want to do first, because I do think that this word is just kind of tossed around so much, especially in the health and wellness world. And I feel like it's just used very loosely when I think that there's a much more simpler definition of it and a simpler approach. And it's just that it has certain fundamentals. So if you know, I feel like if you know the fundamentals of mindfulness, then you know how to practice it and how to apply it to your life. Okay. So the simple fundamentals are paying attention on purpose. Okay. It's curiosity, it's kindness, an open heart, an open mind, and non-judgment. Okay, so those are like the fundamentals of mindfulness. So if you think about it, you can basically apply that to anything you do. Let's also talk about the benefits because they're so similar to meditation. And it's nice because a lot of people have some resistance to meditation because there's a lot of misconceptions. Maybe my next training should be on meditation and what the misconceptions are, because it is also very simple of a practice and technique. But I think you guys have always heard me say that a lot of what I teach here is very simple and practical, but that doesn't always mean that it's easy. It is a practice, whatever it is that we're doing, whether we're working out or practicing mindfulness meditation or what have you. Maybe it's not always the easiest thing to do, but it is a simple method to kind of get you these amazing benefits. And the benefits can include more self-awareness, um, increased focus, creativity, and just a richer life. Okay, so that's why most people are interested in this subject, in mindfulness and meditation and all those things, because they're like, oh, I want to, reduce my stress and increase my creativity and all of these things. And then they realize that mindfulness is one of the ways that they can do that, except they don't really know how to practice mindfulness. And it can be, again, so simple and so practical to practice mindfulness, but if you don't know, right, it's a lot of things. If you just don't know what the fundamentals are, you don't know that energy that is available to tap into, then you can't tap into it, right? So when it comes to mindfulness, again, let me just go with those fundamentals one more time. It's having awareness, paying attention on purpose, having that acceptance, practicing that non-judgment, practicing curiosity, practicing that kindness. So when you are having a bad emotion, for instance, and you're saying to yourself, like, oh, it's hard for me to stay mindful in that moment. Well, this is already kind of not true, because if you are aware, you're already kind of winning, right? You're already ahead of the game if you are at least aware of that negative emotion, because most people are actually not aware of their negative emotions. They kind of just keep reacting throughout the day, and they don't kind of stop and just say, I notice that I'm in a bad mood, or I notice that I'm being reactive, or I notice I'm being negative, or I notice anything. That, because you can't, the, the reason like this is so major and it's such a reason to celebrate is because you cannot fix or help anything that you are not aware of. So bringing that awareness to the surface is the first step to anything that you want to improve on, or build on or change or what have you. Okay, so if you're not aware of it, you can't fix it. Okay, so that awareness is super key, and that's amazing. Like if you lose your patience or something on your kids or your husband or whatever, like, and you notice it in that moment or even afterwards or whatever, but like if you can notice it in that moment, congratulate yourself, because that's huge, it's key, it's major. A lot of people, when they say like I want to just be happier, when they come to me and they say that I just want to be happier, I want to feel better, it's most like, you don't feel good because you have negative thought loops that are kind of just running in the background of your mind, and it's hard to control these things because you're not aware of them. So the first homework I usually give people is to just become aware of it. So if you can just for a week or two practice becoming aware of those thoughts that are happening, right? Because all it mindfulness is, number one, pay attention on purpose. So if you could pay attention on purpose to whatever's coming up for you, you're already big steps ahead of the game. Okay. So the second step I would say is accepting those feelings and emotions or whatever it is that you kind of want to change. Um, I used to do this. I used to push away any negative emotion because I didn't want to waste my time feeling it, right? So instead, I invite you to lean into it, because that would be the next step, is just accepting it, feeling it. Where do you feel it in your body? Where, like, how, like what is it? And then you start getting into the third step, which is getting curious, right? So having awareness and accepting that emotion versus pushing it away gives you time to deal with it. And you'll see as you go through the steps, those fundamental steps of mindfulness, it just kind of loses its power, you know? So I kind of gave a talk on this in terms of like my weight loss journey after postpartum, um, with some of those feelings that I was having in terms of like my body image and, the goals that I really wanted, which was like to kind of lose weight and feel better and what have you. So being aware of it, accepting it, and then getting curious. What is this feeling saying to me? Like, what is this? Where could this be coming from? You might think sometimes, a lot of the times actually, what's on the surface is not really the root cause of whatever it is you think that is you're dealing with. If you think that you're just like angry all the time, and if you get really curious about it, and again, this is going to be a very personal thing, it's going to be whatever comes up for you, but when you get curious, how to, like, deep inside what it is. So sometimes you think that you're just like an angry person, but really you might just be really a hurt person, like, or a sad person. You might be really sad, or something's bothering you deep inside. So get curious about those emotions and really ask yourself, where is it coming from? Is it coming from a limiting belief? Is it, are you feeling, let's say, let's take anxiety, for instance. Become aware of it, right? So if you're about to launch something, for instance, and you're getting anxiety about it, or you're about to do an IG live and you're getting anxiety about it or something like that. And I can speak from experience about this too a little bit. um, I was like, the first time I had anxiety about kind of putting myself out there in a kind of like IG live kind of way, um, I got aware of it, right? I was like, okay, I literally felt, I can feel the sensation in my chest, right? That's what anxiety, how anxiety shows up for me. It shows up in my chest, this kind of like burning sensation. And I accepted it. I leaned into it, and I was like, what are you here for? You know what I mean? What are you here to show me? What are you here to tell me? What's going on? What have I not worked through? What do I need to pay attention to, right? Because whether you stub your toe or you have a bad feeling, it's your body kind of saying, hey, like, pay attention to this place, pay attention to here, like you stub your toe. We're setting in reinforcements, so see what it's asking you for. And a lot of people want to like, again, like, and then this was one of the times where I was like, I really got to practice that non-judgment, because I always accepted anxiety as a negative emotion, but at this point, especially like I had been practicing a lot at this point, and I was like, what is this? Like, why is this here? Like, I feel it. And I got really curious about it, and it pointed to something that I felt like I kind of already worked on, some kind of self-doubt, or some kind of limiting belief of some sorts, right? And I was able to practice that non-judgment and say, like, maybe this isn't good and maybe this isn't bad, maybe it just is what it is, right? Maybe I just feel something, and what other meaning can I give it? Like, if I'm right now feeling like it's a negative emotion, what else could it mean? It could just mean I am getting outside my comfort zone. That's it. Like, because your body is like, right, your mind and your body, they're kind of just meant to protect you. So they send you signals like that, like, hey, you're about to put yourself out there. Like, be careful, you might get hurt. You know what I mean? And then you can just be like, hey, I'm good. Got this. Like, thank you for trying to protect me. Thank you for, trying to bring awareness to, the fact that, like, I could get hurt, but I'm going to do it anyway, So that's where, that anxiety was actually like maybe a little bit of fear. And that fear was just kind of a biological thing to kind of protect me. And then I could kind of like, release it in a very, structured kind of way, right? And then I just practice kindness, right? You're okay. I'm okay. I see that you were just trying to protect me. Thank you so much. Not needed anymore. I'm good. Gonna put myself out there. Gonna do my first IG live workout. Whatever. What I think that was what this is the example that I'm kind of thinking about. So that's an example of how to apply mindfulness to like a negative emotion, right? And you can I apply mindfulness all day, every day, because again, as long as you know those fundamentals, you guys can apply that mindfulness. And that's the amazing thing, that you don't have to have like a formal meditation practice in order to reap some of the same benefits, right? Because the more you practice catching yourself, the more increased like focus you have, right? The more awareness you have, the more self-awareness, because self-awareness, you guys, is probably everything. It's everything. If you could be self-aware, you could catch every negative emotion. You can catch every single thing that you probably need to catch that's holding you back from kind of getting yourself to another level, or to putting yourself, whatever it is that whatever goals it is that you're trying to achieve. Because if you can be self-aware, you know exactly what's going on, and then you can do what you need to do to kind of move forward or move past it, move through it, however you want to put it, right? So you kind of go, because if you don't catch it, what happens? It's why depression exists. It's why anxiety exists. You go down a negative spiral, right? You just like start thinking, they feed off of each other, these negative emotions. You just go from, oh my God, I blew up on my kids. Oh my God, I'm a horrible mom. Oh my God, I'm a horrible wife. Oh my God, I'm horrible at everything. Boom, boom, boom. You just go down and down and down. So those big diagnoses, like the anxieties, the depressions, and like, being in those, is because you're just like in a constant thought loop of that constant spiral. You just let your thoughts go and go and go instead of catching them, right? And that's why if you could just catch them, you're so ahead of the game. That's all, like that, like you need to just do that for a little while, and then you can move on to the other fundamentals, and the other fundamentals are going to be super easy, or much easier, right? Acceptance, non-judgment, curiosity, and kindness. Okay, so that is how you can apply it to that. You and like think of these benefits, right? Like if you had increased awareness, you could, like, one of the main things I love to help my clients with is time and energy, because everybody thinks that they don't have enough time and they don't have enough energy. But if you can even just become aware of how you spend your time and how you're spending your energy every day, you can easily move towards solutions, right, to increase that. So if you have, like, because usually, like, we're on autopilot, if especially if we're trying to establish a new habit, we're trying to work out more, we're trying to eat better, we're trying to build a business or whatever it is. Right now, we don't have that. So we're operating as a certain person. Okay, we're operating as a person that doesn't have those things, doesn't have those types of habits. So really, we have to change our identity to be the person, to have and do and be the things that we want to have, the goals that we're trying to create, whether it's a workout routine, a wellness routine, better eating habits, or a business, right? Because that's what we kind of talk about here. So being self-aware of how you spend your time and how you spend your energy, because those are the two things that I hear the most about, already again puts you ahead of the game. If you are spending a lot of your time binge watching Netflix or TV series or whatever, like throughout your day, every day, then you're probably not like spending your time, in a very efficient way, right? It's not conducive to the person who spends time cooking their meals, or spends time getting movement into their day, or spends time working on their mindset routines, or spends time building their business, right? Simple, remember? Simple. Just maybe not always that easy, right? Because you have to be able to say, I'm not that type of person. I'm the type of person who now shows up to their mat, who cooks their meals, who goes and works on their business, versus binge watching Netflix or scrolling social media mindlessly, right? That's why if you just pay attention on purpose, if you were scrolling social media, right, and you're just like got it really intentional, really mindful about scrolling social media, you might see that like maybe you're following people that don't really like serve you, right? Like they make you feel bad versus inspire you, right? And then, so why are you doing that to yourself? You wouldn't do that to yourself, right? And or you're like, what am I doing? Like these people, I'm just like watching these people live their best lives in these highlight reels when I could be building my own great life, right? So like there's just so much that comes from just paying attention on purpose, but most people are not doing that. Common knowledge, and this isn't mind-blowing stuff, right? You're like, oh, pay attention on purpose, like why am I even watching this? But it's not groundbreaking stuff probably, and not a lot of the amazing things are, but it's also not common practice. And that's the key, that's the difference, is that it needs to be a practice, it needs to be part of your day, it needs to be practiced in order to reap the benefits, right? So just paying attention on purpose of how you're spending your time, your energy. So like a lot of us are kind of multitaskers, I guess you could say, like because we're busy, we're mamas, we're business owners, whatever it is. Like we could be pulled in much different directions, especially women. I don't know what it is about women. Maybe I should do a little bit more research on this, but we like to be multitaskers. We think we could do it all. We want to be these super women, and we get pulled in a lot of different directions, and we experience kind of these burnouts, this overwhelm, this confusion, all these negative emotions, because we are just trying to do too much. Right? And when instead, if you just kind of like got mindful of how you're spending your day, right? By 12 p.m., I'm usually pretty like beat, right? I start my day like at 5, 6 a.m. So I'm usually pretty beat. And I always take note. How did I spend my time? Was I present with my daughter? Was I pulled in too many different directions? Did I have too many people? Did I have too many things that I was trying to focus on? And it's probably like the answer is yes. So setting your boundaries and getting really intentional of how you're spending your energy and your focus will increase your energy and your focus, right? So if you're feeling really drained by 12 p.m., right, and you don't take note of why, right, and you're just trying to push through and you drink another coffee or you do whatever you do, you're going to just kind of keep having your days lived out that way, right? You're just trying to catch up. You're just trying to feed your energy versus like eliminate maybe some of those things and just pay attention on purpose of what you're doing. I know when I'm being pulled in too many different directions, that's the only time that I experience some kind of like overwhelm or like kind of just burnout, by 12 p.m. And then obviously, and then some of the times, right, it's just that's just what it is. Like that's just what the day was, and that's it. And then I can do something, and I know, and at that point, I know what I can do in order to feed the parts of me, my wellness, my mind, body, and self, right? In order to rejuvenate, to increase that energy level again so that I can finish my day strong. So this is it. And a lot of people ask me like how I do so much in such a short amount of time, because you guys know I'm on that nap time hustle. I really only work 3 hours out of the day. Basically, like the morning before my daughter wakes up is usually just spent with a morning routine and maybe like my social media posts. The middle of the day is spent doing everything else, right? And then if my nanny is here, it's also spent on doing a lot of client work and stuff like and other work and stuff like that. And then at night, just me and my husband. That's it most of the time. That's mostly how my day is set up. So there's like 2 to 6 hours realistically. There's like realistically any given day, 2 to 6 hours in my day that I am giving to myself, my work, and my family, my whole family life. Okay, so that's how I would compartmentalize my life, right? And a lot of people they don't know how I can like meditate twice a day. They don't know how I can build a successful business. They don't know how I can like prioritize my family, all within this kind of short amount of time. And it's because I have a very strong sense of my priorities, number one, and a very increased focus. I do not spend my time scrolling social media. I don't, spend that time at all watching any kind of anything. Like I watch 90 Day Fiance on Sundays, and that's my one of my celebrations for the week. You know what I mean? So I have my time, and my husband and I will watch our favorite shows, whatever. So I have time that I allocate for those things. They're not just mixed into my day. They're not just like whatever I kind of feel like. No, that time I know is very intentional, right? Especially the time that I'm spending away from my daughter. If she's sleeping, okay, like whatever. But if the nanny is here and I'm spending time away from my daughter, um, it is going to feed me in some kind of way. My business feeds me. I love doing what I do. So for me, that makes me a better mom and a better person because I am living out my passion, right? But you better believe that during that time, I'm not wasting my time. I'm not wasting my energy, time and energy, right, on things that don't matter. You will not see me. I don't know. You just won't see me doing anything that's not conducive to that. So you want to know how to do more with less is really just pay attention of how you're spending that time and energy. Get curious about it. Don't judge yourself, right? Nothing crazy, not really good. Don't like, you can be kind with yourself if you are doing those things because, hey, maybe sometimes you do need to just like watch a show. Sometimes I'm like, when she naps, I'm like, I'm going to take this nap, but it's a miracle if I do actually get to take a nap because I just can't shut off at that point. So just those little things, right? So that's how you can improve your emotions. You can improve your energy. Imagine just being able to also improve your relationships and your business and so many things by just practicing practicing these fundamentals and these benefits, like being more creative and being more focused, can improve your business, can improve your relationships because you can be less reactive, you can be more creative, you can, and all those things. So mindfulness can do so much when practiced consistently, right? And so let's talk about exactly how you can practice it. I already kind of talked about it, how you can do it like in these like kind of moments where you're experiencing these things. But also like there's breath work. Again, just paying attention on purpose to your breath. We do it every single day, every single time in the beginning of class. We take mindful breaths. You just count your breath in, you count your breath out, paying attention on purpose, right? You can do a little body scan. We do that at the beginning of class as well. We just mentally scan through our body. If you're ever in a bath or about to go to sleep, I love the body scan because it puts you right to sleep, probably. You just little pay attention on purpose, go through your body. Just start imagining what your body looks like from the inside out or from the outside in. Who knows? Whatever you want. There's like really not a lot of rules except for pay attention on purpose and try to practice that non-judgment, curiosity, and kindness, right? Um, the more you do, and you guys know I have a series on my IGTV where they're called mindful moments, and I show you how to inject mindfulness into the most mundane things like doing your laundry or your dishes. I actually haven't done the dishes one, but it's all the same thing. You kind of just pay attention to your senses, and that's a way to kind of tap into your mindfulness or practice mindfulness. And the beauty of that is that, number one, like, so much can come up. Like, so much has come up in terms of like when I do the laundry. I used to have such negative thoughts because it was just like the bane of my existence, like just never ending, and I just hated it. So like I noticed like I had such negative emotions and thoughts when I was doing the laundry. And of course I injected mindfulness into that. And it ended up being like I was just so happy and grateful to have clothes for my family to wear. I ended up giving a lot of it away because I was just like, why do I have all these clothes? Actually, like, there's so much that I was giving away to make space for just like this new version of myself that I was creating. And that impulse came with like, buying myself like just like a few pieces that were quality, for, working from home, working out, whatever. And like, then brands started sending me stuff. It was just crazy. And then that's when like I actually, serendipitously, right? I wasn't even actively looking for a nanny, but I found a nanny and she helps me so much around the house. And with my daughter, that I just had more energy and now like I just, like, she was supposed to help me with the laundry, but now I have more energy and time to do the laundry. So now that's what I do. And I literally don't have any overwhelm when it comes to doing laundry anymore. So that is just like a really weird, but like, real testament to what it is to inject mindfulness into mundane things. And when you do that, right? Because most of life, let's just be real, most of life is mundane, right? It's like you get up, you take care of the kids, you whatever, you go to work. And if you can just inject mindfulness into your day, one of the best benefits is that you watch each moment unfold, and sometimes you just can't even help but just have more of a sense of appreciation for everything, right? So then, like, just, instead of being on autopilot, you just have just this richer life. You just pay attention more to like these little things that are going on in life, and it just feels richer. And then when you experience some epic shit in your life, like a vacation or whatever, just like a really good dinner with friends or whatever, like it feels like euphoric, because then you're also paying attention on purpose, right? And then but it's like not a mundane thing. It's like this epic experience, and that feels good. Yeah, I mean, you're vibing high. So that's it. That's what it is. So let me look at my notes if I missed anything. Yeah, that's it. So many, many benefits to take advantage of, many ways to apply mindfulness, almost too many. Out of all the certifications and trainings and books and everything that I've ever kind of studied, let's just say, and practiced, mindfulness is literally always, it's so simple, and it's in everything. It is literally in everything that I've studied and done, and like, and it's such a simple concept. But again, if you can take away anything from this, is just the fundamentals, because if you know the fundamentals, then you can apply it to anything you want in life. Any negative emotion, any for your relationships, for your business, for your energy, your time, whatever it is. The fundamentals of mindfulness is paying attention on purpose, becoming aware, right? It's acceptance, non-judgment, curiosity, kindness, open heart, open mind. Those are the fundamentals of mindfulness. You can apply them to anything. And then also, practice is king. The application of it is king. If you don't apply it, if you don't practice it, you will not reap the benefits. Do not practice just for the benefits, or else you will just hold those further away from you. Practice them because you want to practice them. Practice them because you want to be more present. Practice them because you want to. The present moment is what we got. You know, a lot of those, like when, speaking of negative emotions, a lot of anxiety is you're too far in the future or too much in the past. The more you can bring yourself to that present moment and find exercises, practices, mindful practices that bring you back to that present moment, I promise you it'll help, right? You just have to want that. Like, this is like everything that I teach and do is a do with process, not a do to process. You have to want these things. I cannot make you work out. I cannot tell you how good working out is and then have you reap the benefits of it, right? And that's another thing. You can inject mindfulness into your workouts, right? We do that all the time with Zen Hot. So if you don't practice, then what I like, if you're watching this, it doesn't mean anything, right? It's about applying it. So my invitation to you is, what are you going to do this week to practice mindfulness? Practice mindfulness consistently. Practice mindfulness every day. Practice mindfulness, just for the want and love and journey of having a mindful life. In our Power Through series, we practice mindfulness to incorporate a nutrition guide. So what you eat, what you drink, and also just incorporating a mindfulness practice in every week. So yeah, I think that's it, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you guys see this and you have more questions, please, because I'm just kind of going off of what I think you guys would want to hear about or know about. But the more questions you guys ask me, the more I can answer them, right? Lisa, do you have any questions you could put in the chat, or are you good? You're good. All right. All right, you guys. I'll post this for the replay. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions. Adios.